What is going on, stream? It's good to be back with you. Hope everyone's having a wonderful, wonderful day. Oh, it's good to be back. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Learning 5e D&D. We are continuing our series through the Manor at Moonviel, or the murder at Moonviel Manor. A murder mystery, and yeah. If I don't know, I'm off my game. It's been a very interesting week. We got to go back to work and been outside, so that's a fun little announcement. Speaking of announcements, I don't think we have anything new. A lot of stuff shifting and changing around the back end of this. But honestly, I'm just excited to get started. We left off on a bit of a cliffhanger. These freaking guys already. And I gotta be honest, I am in a room full of people with anxious players ready to get started. So, go ahead and bring those guys in. As usual, Draco Blades with us. Once again, say hi.
Hello.
Oh my god. And we have Chris McCheeto McGoldrick.
Hi.
These guys. Eventually, I would love to get you guys on camera and just have these as being part of the whole entire thing. But instead, everyone just seeing my spiffy mug at the beginning of every episode.
Actually, that we're talking about?
No. It's not
With our powers combined, our computers working in signals.
Oh, these guys trying to get everything to work. Well,
I'm just trying to teach Derek how to crop an image. Sorry. That's broccoli. You know, the nutrients for working out.
The nutrients for working out. Listen to you. Well, what's going on with everyone's week? It's been pretty busy. Leg day today, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was decently fun. Had a good lunch with a good friend of mine, and Derek MIA for the last few weeks.
Yes, Derek has been MIA.
Crying out loud, trying to get some results over here.
That was air. I'm sorry. It wasn't broccoli. It was air.
You're eating his broccoli? Okay.
Ew.
Indeed.
Cuties.
Oh, well, if there's no new announcements, I'm excited to just jump in.
I mean, other than getting a new job.
Yeah, your job.
But Fargaros.
But Fargaros. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm excited to get started. I really am. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Ooh.
I wish I had an intro thing. Maybe I should hit an intro thing. I don't know. Normally I have a lot more announcement things today, but today this week has been kind of chill. Let's continue on with the adventure. Well, that being said, let's just get into this edition of Learning 5e D&D. As I straighten up, pull up my notes.
Your nuts?
That's not what I said, and you know it.
I misheard.
Keeping it clean on this here channel. Derek, talking to you.
What? That was air again.
He's doing karate moves over there.
You know, he has a big enough room for it. He could probably have his own dojo.
I do have a treadmill in here now. Yes.
Oh my gosh. So the next time we play D&D and we're walking for hundreds of miles, and I have you just okay, well, you gotta get on the treadmill and you gotta walk. This whole time. Alright. Well, enough of that. Enough of that. Oh my gosh, Pandaren are so much fun. Anyway. So. When we last left off, you guys were summoned to the manor, the Moonviel Manor, for a celebration dinner after felling one of the biggest Ettins this region has ever seen. After a very cozy dinner and getting to know a few of the more eccentric characters from around Everhost, you settled in for the evening. In the middle of the night, as most of the other patrons slept, a studying Fargeros was alerted by a huge crash. His friend, Varro Pendergast, however, was not so fortunate to be awoken, and still is cuddling his battle hammer, his war hammer, in a nice nuzzled gesture on the floor of his bedroom. With a big crash, draws your attention to the downstairs. So, I guess that leaves Fargeros. What would you like to do?
So as far as I know, I'm the only I'm the only one awake right now.
As far as you know.
Was the Lord, what's his wow, I should have had my notes out. Hold on.
Yes, make sure you get your note outs.
Lord Berkstoff, would he have been in that same hallway as us?
All the rooms are in that same area, yes. But you don't know if he's awake.
Do I know which room he's in? Would I have noticed that?
You didn't look out for the master bedroom on your initial search, so you do not.
Okay.
So what is your character doing?
He would be awake at this point, and he's probably like writing notes as he's just kind of like had some ideas on some of the spells he's been reading after he just woke up from his meditation. Okay. And then as he hears it was just a loud noise.
It was a rather large crash. Like it was larger than, say, something like a plate falling on the ground. It was much bigger than that. It was kind of almost indistinguishable. Plus, it came from the downstairs. But yeah.
Okay, so it essentially almost sounds like some glass or something's breaking.
Well, so there's just a large crashing sound.
Okay. Yeah. What in the world is... He goes to the door, and then I guess he'll try and follow wherever that sound was.
Okay. You make your way downstairs, and you see a very familiar tiefling, Amy, looking quite flushed. She has a broom in one hand and a dustpan in the other. And she's cleaning up what you noticed earlier is a large vase. The vase itself is probably about 4.5 feet tall, and it was on a pedestal, a small one, just to keep it up off the floor, as it sits there, and it's now in 1,000 pieces all over the floor. You had noticed this in the entryway when you came in. That's where this happened. The meeting room with the smaller bookcase. And so she's sitting there kind of flustered, trying to sweep up the remains of a very large and in a multitude of pieces, just mess of pottery.
Oh, sorry, I had to swallow my rice there. Amy, what happened?
She turns around with you. Oh, sir, I hope I didn't wake you. Sir, well, you see, I went to go get some water, and, I wasn't paying attention, and I turned around, and I knocked over this expensive vase, sir.
You were awake at this time of night?
I, I get a bit of a dry mouth, you see, and I just wanted something to drink. I came downstairs and I knocked over the vase. And her voice starts to trail off from embarrassment as she kind of tries to go back to sweeping up what she can.
Can I inside check her?
Sure. Oh, let me pull up the dice parser. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, yeah. First roll of the game 17.
17.
Given her disposition, you get the strong impression that she's not being entirely truthful with you.
Amy, uh, you can trust me. If anything else happened here, I would understand.
She bows her head quite low and her face gets really red from embarrassment. Well, go ahead and make a perception or a
Persuasion?
persuasion check for me.
Is it just persuasive is what it's called?
Persuasion
Oh, persuasion, okay.
is what it should be.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. She sits there and she kind of smiles at your kind words and she starts to tear up just a little bit. It was the book, sir. And she begins to explain to you that she spotted Harriet putting back a book from her bag onto the bookshelf, and she just was wondering what it was. And that's what she tried to climb up on there. And so you see, sir, I knocked the vase over, trying to get that, just wondering what the book was, sir. And she hands over the book to you, and as you look at it, it says, "The Beginner's Guide to Ciphers: A Study in Cryptology" by Martin Duskville. You may want to write that down.
Yeah, hold on. You said Dust Field? Or like
Duskville.
Ville, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like a village, villa.
Mm-hmm.
Beginner's Guide to Inscriptions?
Beginner's Guide to Ciphers.
Oh, ciphers.
A study in cryptology.
Oh. Interesting.
So Amy looks at you and she's like, "Sir, I don't mean to impose, sir, but could you... I don't suppose you'd help me clean this, would you, sir?"
Oh, of course, Amy. I'm always happy to lend a hand. But you said Harriet put this book up in the entryway here, these bookshelves.
Yes, sir. It was definitely her. She didn't notice me, sir, but it was definitely her.
Oh, okay. Real quick question: what time is it right now?
It's the middle of the night. So,
So she probably saw her around this like a few minutes ago then?
ask her.
Amy, how long ago was this?
It was earlier this evening, sir.
Right after dinner.
It was quite busy. I don't really recall. But as I was moving around, I saw her do it.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna lend her a hand and kind of just, okay, try to put these pieces.
Make a perception check for me.
Okay. You said perception?
Correct. 19.
Nice.
As you start cleaning, you notice something that makes something churn in the pit of your stomach. A bit of anxiety starts to grow in your stomach. As you sweep through the rubble, your nose smells something that you haven't smelled in a long time. For a second there, you think that you smelled a bit of elderwood. And why is this important? Well, it's because most of your sister's tools in bookcraft, most of her tools were made out of elderwood. And every time you smell that, you think about her. And just now, you could have sworn that you smelled it in the rubble. As you move from piece to piece, trying to put these pieces of vases together, you find a small, unmistakable chisel that was your sister's. This could only be hers because it has her craftsmanship mark on it. And you know that she would never leave a place without it. Why it's there, you have no idea. But there before you, you know that this is one of her wooden chisels.
As soon as I see that chisel, after I see that mark and confirmed it, I just tuck it away in my my little satchel pack.
Make a sleight of hand check. I don't know if that's an actual skill. I don't know if that's...
I think it is. Hold on. Yeah, that is. Let's see if it'll let me if I just hit that. Oof. 8.
Sir, what is that you're stowing away, sir?
Um.
Amy asks you.
Amy, can you keep a secret?
I don't know, sir. I'm not very good at lying, you see, sir.
I'm not asking you to lie. I'm just asking, can you keep this on the down low for now? This is my sister's chisel. I don't know how it got here.
About that time, you hear you hear two distinct voices coming from behind you. Well, would you look at this here? You two must be the worst housemaids ever. Well, of course, clearly. Look, there's rubble everywhere. You guys know what cleaning is, right? Making sure things stay clean. And you kind of get this feeling like, oh gosh, here come the dad jokes.
Isn't it past your guys' bedtime?
Well, I suppose it would be if y'all weren't downstairs making noise. What do you think they're doing down here? And they start to giggle like schoolgirls. All of a sudden, you hear like the clatter of claws come down the stairs. Hey, you know what, guys, what time it is? I'm Lizard, but I still need my sleep. What did you guys do? And the Constable Custard comes whipping around the side. Yeah, what did you guys do? Looks like you made a mess. Constable Custard looks. And you see from the stairs a rather tired Lord Berkstep, kind of huffing and wheezing. He's like, nothing to be worried about, you see. What's going on here? What what seems to be the trouble? Everyone's awake. It's kind of late, don't you think? Hmm. As he walks into the room.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
You said the chisel, was that with the broken pottery?
Correct.
Is that what? Okay. Um, can I at least say by now I've already put it away so no one else sees it? Just maybe Amy.
Um, they wouldn't have seen you, so you put it away. She noticed you putting it away, but you've already put it away, so therefore it's already stowed.
Okay, cool. Oh, hold on one second. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Everything's okay. Lord, Bergstoff, it was just an accident. Amy was trying to get some water and she just was just roaming around late and one of the pots the vase here got knocked over. And I kind of look at Amy with confirmation.
She sits there on the ground, still trying to clean up everything, like nodding. Lord Berkstaff. Oh, well, can't be helped. It truly does happen, but well, um, you do notice that Harriet and Lady Silverhall are not present.
Hmm. Is there anything else that I see when Amy's cleaning up?
Um, make a perception check. And as you're doing
Or
that, what?
should I make maybe like an investigation instead? I guess because I'm actually trying to look for something, I guess.
I don't think that 5e has search checks. I think it's just all under the umbrella of perception.
If you want to search something thoroughly, it's the investigation check.
Okay, so if that's the case, if you're, I mean, if you want to, yeah, that's fine.
Because I know my investigation is higher than my perception, and my intent is to actually look at
Okay.
whatever's in there.
Perception's just quick notice.
18. Given what you know about the last whereabouts of your sister 5 years ago, the job that she's done, it's not within outside the realm of possibility that something had caused it to get into the vase. How it got in the vase, you're not aware of. But there's nothing else of note outside of like there's nothing else besides just clumps of the vase, the pottery. You don't notice anything else.
Okay, so it wasn't like a potted plant or anything.
No, it was a large decorative vase. You make an I'm trying to think of which stat would be tied to memory. I'm thinking intelligence. It used to be wisdom, but now I think it's intelligence. Make an intelligence check for me.
Oh crap. Oh. 1 or 5.
Okay. So, a 5. You try to remember what the vase looked like. The only thing that you can remember is that it was a decorative piece. It looked kind of expensive, but you can't really recall what it looked like well enough in its current in the before it was broken. You just knew that it did kind of stand out a little bit. It looked kind of expensive, but you don't really recall any more detail other than that. At this point, Bergstaff was like, "Well, I don't know about you, but it is rather late. If you would, excuse me, I am going to go back upstairs." And he turns around to leave. Go ahead and make another perception check for me, Farragos. As you watch Bergstaff go back upstairs, you can tell, you see a slight stain on the back of his left shoe as he goes back upstairs. Well, I guess this means that a midnight snack is in order. Is that all you think about is food? Well, we're in a big house with maids and everything else. Why couldn't I get a snack? Well, now that's the smartest thing you said all day. Well, of course it is. After you. Well, I will oblige you. And the two older men begin walking towards the kitchen. Amy is finishing up cleaning, and the constable and detective just kind of look at you and look at each other, and they shrug. All right, I'm gonna have a pipe. And he starts puffing on it, and you see Constable Custard. Why, yeah, so am I. And he starts to kind of reach around his pockets and realize he doesn't actually have a pipe. And he sits there and, rather strange. As he does, as he sits and thinks and smokes on his pipe.
And I heard him say that.
Yes.
Like they're just hanging around with us.
They're in the entryway, kind of looking around, but he's just Detective Rhubarb is kind of still lost in thought.
What are you thinking about, officer? Like, what do you find strange?
More curious than anything, you see. Seems, I don't know, maybe just a theory. But, that's a pretty big vase. That thing weighs more than me and Constable Custer put together. Seems kinda, I don't know, strange that a sudden bump would just knock the whole thing over. I mean, she would have really had to run into it, and even then, it doesn't seem, given the angles, that it could have been done. And he He looks at you for a second and kind of cocks his head. Um, and he looks over at the bookcase. And he just kind of looks it up and down. If I was a betting man, given the angle of that there bookcase, I'd almost say some acrobatics were performed to some degree or another. And you hear Constable Custard stroking his patchy beard, almost like Detective Rhubarb, but not quite accomplishing it. Yeah, it almost looks like, the bookcase. And Detective Rhubarb just kind of looks at him. Anyway, and he goes back to deep thought.
You've got a good eye, officer.
Hey, they don't just hand out the title of detective for no reason. You know. And he goes to lean against the wall, trying to puff up his chest, and misses, and knocks over the bin that Amy had been using to collect the fragments, and spreads chunks of pottery everywhere all over again.
Do you mind giving us a hand, officer?
Yeah, no, see, I meant to do that. And he's just like, and Constable Rhubarb comes around the side, he grabs the bin and starts, kind of scooping up. Yeah, that's right. He meant to do that. That's right. And he starts cleaning up once again. Cleaning up his the pottery pieces.
With the bookcase, can I kind of take a look at it and see if anything else has happened with it?
As you look at it, you notice that it's exactly what he said. Like, there's a number of books pulled out slightly, supporting Amy trying to get on there, and Amy just sits there, kind of embarrassed, embarrassed and angry at the same time, because they've just kind of spilt out all of this pottery, and she has this look of indignance, but also a fear, just reminding her of her whole entire mess over trying to get a book. And she goes back to cleaning it.
So was that the same bookcase that Harriet was at?
Yes, earlier in the night. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna help Amy get the rest of this pottery cleaned up, and then I'm going to see if I can kind of pull her aside and talk to her for a second without the officers.
Okay. So as you leave them to kind of start cleaning stuff up, Amy kind of just hands the broom to the Constable Custard, and he kind of takes it, and she turns to Detective Rhubarb and kind of taps her foot, her tail just flickering back and forth in annoyance, and hands him the dustpan, to which she just, and moves the dustpan to Constable Rhubarb. Detective Rhubarb, Constable Custer is like, mm-hmm, no, and takes the pan and starts cleaning as as Detective Rhubarb is looking around the room. As you pull Amy aside and to try and talk with her, you start to hear the pitter patter of commotion down the hallway coming towards the kitchen. And as you look back, you see the Fairbrand brothers, and as old as they are what you could only conceive as them running as they hustle, their faces looking almost white as ghosts, and they just right past you and just go right up the stairs. You're not sure what they saw, but it was clear to you that they were scared. As they make their way up, you hear a loud slamming of the door in their room. At this point, Derek, Varro, if you want to make another Constitution savings throw, or a Constitution check to see if any of this loud commotion has woken you up.
Nope.
Golly.
I'm gonna sleep through this whole damn night.
As you lay there on the floor, you're sitting there with your warhammer and all the shaking and shuffling around, just and you reach up and you grab the covers off the bed, and you turn around and you put your great axes on the ground flat, and you put your face kind of on the blade, and you're like, and you begin to cuddle your great axe at the haft with covers around it, and you
Yes. I love this.
Golly.
and you start to drool and on it, and you can hear the tink of your spit just plink on there, and have to buff that in the morning. And you're completely out. Oh my god. Well,
I'm gonna sleep through this whole damn thing. Guarantee it, dude.
Not unless I have anything to do with it.
back downstairs. Farragos, what are you doing? Fargaros.
Maybe we should check the kitchen, Amy. But before that, do you? I'm saying kind of in a whisper because I know that the officers are there. But do you know if you're okay with it? I think we should tell the what's his name again? I forgot. Golly.
Are you not writing this down? You need to be writing this down.
I have them all written down. I just have to go look. Is it Detective Rhubarb was the one that was the gnome? Or is that a Custer?
No, Detective Rhubarb was the kobold. The Constable Custer is the gnome.
I tell you what, maybe you should get like a physical book that you can flip through and take notes. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, unless you write it down, you're gonna have to ask from now on. Like asking character. What was your name? Yeah. So, because I think that'll be a lot of fun. Okay. At this point, Amy just kind of her skin gets really kind of flushed again from embarrassment of having to admit what she had done. Not used to the being upfront with people for fear of being chastised, overtly so, overtly so, a lot. I'm not Englishing well. Um, but she doesn't provide any kind of objection. Bless you.
Uh, De- Detective Rhubar, is it?
The detective turns around and he just looks at you. Rhubarb! Not that difficult. Faragos.
It's Fogueros.
That's what I
Not that
said.
hard. Anyways, I have a. I have to be honest with you. It was a little bit more than just an accident with the vase.
Oh yeah, the little tiefling girl. She stole a book, didn't she?
No. Well, no. Um, you see, someone already stole it before she tried to find the book. I know it sounds confusing, but Amy saw Harriet pull this book out from the shelf and try to put it back last evening, before we all went to bed. It's a book about an um, beginner's guide to cipher study and encryptology.
Cryptology. Yeah. Makes sense.
But
She's one of the best ciphers and cryptologists in town. Speaking, of course, of Harriet. Doesn't seem too far-fetched. The real question is why did she want it?
that's what I'm saying, and in a strange time to be reading. Uh, what
About
do I
this,
do I
about
know? Do I know that about Harriet?
you, um, make an intelligence check to see if you can recall ever hearing or knowing anything about that.
Okay.
Not that you can recall. You don't really hear much about the upper class, and whatever you have heard, you just kind of try to push out of your brain because, in all honesty, those kind of the people that you really don't want to hang out with, you don't want to be around, you want to kind of separate yourself from, even though they're work colleagues of your father's, and you just kind of can't seem to recall anything about that other than his assessment. About this time, you see Detective Rhubarb stop and his eyes go a little wide. And Constable Custard looks up to see it and recognizes his that look in his eyes. You don't think that? Well, of course I do. I know that smell anyway.
Elderwood.
Elder, what are you talking about? Blood. You can't smell it because you humies and don't have keen senses like us kobolds.
Not a human.
Potato. You taller folks. You unreptilian peoples. And he pushes his way past and starts heading the direction of the kitchen. Constable Custard nods, and as he gets up, to follow him. Actually, nice metal D20. Oh yeah, he puts his foot in the can and drags it along with him for a second. The one he was using, and he's like, get off my, and kind of kicks it off of his foot, and it kind of slides against the wall. It hits the a frame, a door frame, and and again just spread everywhere. And Amy sits there and she's like, I suppose I'll stay and clean this again, sir. And she picks up the dustpan and the broom that they just left in their hurry to get to the kitchen. What is Farragos doing?
I would have definitely followed them through. Blood. I'm gonna. What's happening? I'm gonna go and follow them.
This is fun on the voice, but it's also kind of taxing, so I'm actually kind of having fun with this. Right, as the three of you make your way into the kitchen, carefully so, the musky lavender scent air becomes coated with a strange smell that, given your more recent adventures, you've become all too familiar with. It is, in fact, the smell of blood. Fresh blood, at that. You, all three of you look at each other, concern lining your faces, and you all quickly either draw whatever implements, weapons that you have, but as you look over the counter, you see the limp, deceased form of Harriet Lockwell slumped against the wall, coated in blood.
My God, or gods. Is it just her in the middle of the kitchen?
So, the kitchen has like two islands in the middle of it for different stations. One for the baker, one for the actual butcher and cook to put together the instruments of the meal. And along the wall are different stations for cleaning vegetables and cutting them up and preparing them. She is against the wall. So when you first walk in, like you walk in, and there's an island to your left and an island to your right. And along the right side is where the baking and the wood and all that stuff is, the ovens and stuff like that are. Along the back wall, there's like a window for you to for anyone looking out there to see, and then there's like the wash station for different vegetables and for people bringing in water for use and as they cook. And on the left side is on that left wall as you come in, you see the slumped body, as previously stated, just sitting there, just blood seemingly everywhere pulled around her feet.
Is there any way that I can, what is it? Would I have to do like a medicine check to figure out what killed her?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and make a medicine check. Using your...
I'm also, well, I'm not gonna try and touch her, but I'm gonna try and just kind of look around her without obviously messing with evidence.
There is a lot of blood around there, and given the length of her hair and where it's all laid, you're not really... You can't quite tell without getting more in depth into it. As far as that's concerned. Do you want to look closer with an investigation check?
Yes, if I can just see anything, if there's anything weird on her, or... Yeah, investigation.
14. As you try to move around the body and try to get to see what's going on there, like blood keeps bubbling up and pushing its way through the wounds to the point where you know that she's bleeding. You're not exactly sure how, and it's just as you go to try and move and investigate the body, it kind of becomes a little bit unwieldy and just flumps back down to the ground. As she was like leaning against the wall, now her body just and kind of lands on her back, and blood kind of spills out from her mouth, and her eyes, still lifeless and glazed over, devoid of life, just kind of sit there staring up into nothingness. And you're not able to tell what exactly caused her death. I mean, obviously it's blood loss, but from beyond that, you're not quite sure.
Is she like wearing anything? Like, of anything change with her appearance, or is it just her, just like sleepwear or something?
Um, she has still got her. She does not have sleepwear on. No, she still has her travel attire on.
Detective Rhubarb, what can you make of this? I haven't seen anything like this before.
What, a dead body?
No,
Eh.
I don't know what caused this.
You boys did a pretty big job on the Etten. I'm pretty sure you've seen a dead body. That's okay. I tell you what. You let me have a look at the body. I'll let you know. And as he does that, as he says that, he pulls back kind of his coat, and inside of his coat he pulls out a leather bound kit, and he walks over to the body, and he unties it, and 4 or 5 pouches of instruments lay there, and he starts looking and trying to he pulls out a book, and then he starts drawing how the body was laying and taking notes as he does, and he just kind of looks at you. This is gonna take a while, kid. Give me some space to work. I'll let you know, and kind of shoos you off of the kitchen, and you see Constable Custard. You heard the guy. It'll take him a moment. We'll let you know. And he kind of creates an impromptu perimeter, trying to make sure no one comes close to Detective Rhubarb.
Do I, before I'm leaving the kitchen, can I see anything that might have moved in the kitchen? Anything that might have seemed off? Just other than her body?
You can make a perception check.
Golly.
24.
Yeah.
One of the things you do notice is over on the butcher's block, you see, or the butcher's area, you see a block of knives, and each one of these knives has their own slot inside the block. One of the carving knives is actually missing. And since the area where they clean dishes is completely and totally empty, there should be no reason that a knife is missing.
Strange. Constable, let detective know that there's a knife missing there as well. I don't want to disturb him while he's investigating the rest of the body.
I have sharp ears too, kid. Yeah, I noticed the knife missing as well.
Good man. I'll let you do your business. And I'm gonna go and try and, if I have blood on my hands or anything, I'm just gonna wash it off or try and get away from the scene.
Okay.
What time would it be now?
I'd say that you guys probably went to bed about 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. It's about 2 a.m. This whole entire process has probably taken about an hour, so it's about 3 a.m.
Are there any rooms connected to the kitchen other than obviously like the hallway, probably?
Aside from the hallway, when you come out into the hallway, like just across the hallway is kind of like these almost like barn doors, and that's where the staff goes through into where the dining area is. But other than that, there's a door on the other side, near the dead body. Like there's about 10 feet away. There's an open. There's a closed and barred door that leads out to outside, where they would bring in more wood, whatever they would accept deliveries, um, stuff like that. Pretty common to to these bigger manor houses. So almost think what you call it, Downton Abbey. Invoke
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was trying to imagine.
It's kind of
They have so many like extra rooms that you're just like, why the heck would you need one? But obviously it's
they'll
because
find a reason for it. Yeah,
servants. There's always a prep room before the actual room, and then
right.
oh, hmm, okay. I wonder if Lord, what's his name? Golly, Berkstoff went outside because he had
Right.
mud on his boot.
No, it was a stain. It wasn't a. It wasn't.
Stain. Okay,
It
never
wasn't.
mind.
You weren't sure what it was a stain with.
Um, I'll correct that detail. Oh, it did say stain. Okay. Hmm.
Pay attention to your own notes. Jiminy Christmas, man. Get it together.
Was there anything on the floor as I'm coming out other than blood from I know the kitchen, there was the blood from her, but would there been any like sign of like stains, footprints,
Um,
or would that been covered?
Go ahead and make a perception check, or if you're seriously investigating, make another investigation check if you like.
I'm just kind of staring at the ground, just looking at anything I see.
Do you notice drops of blood here or there, but nothing really substantial? It goes on for a couple of feet, but it's the hallway leading into the kitchen. So somehow she got to the kitchen, but from there it just kind of trails off.
It's just a stain.
Drops of blood here or there.
And you said they're heading where again?
They were going down the hallway, but there's only like really one hallway in that area. There's only, it's either going to, it's in the hallway, but you can't tell which direction it came from, whether it came from the dining room or it came from down the hallway from which you've just come. So
Okay.
you can't exactly tell.
I'm just gonna like wander to the dining room.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's fairly close from here, since that's where I saw that, and I'm just gonna look around and see if there's anything in there.
You make your way into the dining room. It's as you kind of left it. When it was being used, it's warm and inviting, filled with different art pieces and trinkets, gold trim decor. The fire has since been put out in the far end of the room. The dining table has been closed up. Most of the floor space has a square pattern rug underneath it.
Is there anything like possibly burned up in the fire other than just ash from the wood?
Not that you can tell. Whenever the staff finished for the night, they took all the ashes out. You see a recently used ash shovel that they would use to kind of cart the ash out, and it's actually set back up for with more wood, but it just hasn't been used, ready for the next time it needs to be lit.
Well, I guess I should check on Amy, see how she's doing. She might need to know this. I just kind of wander back out into the hallway and then head to where Amy was.
As you go back to the opening area, you noticed a bin, or you notice that sitting against the wall are the broom and the dustpan. The bin that she used is nowhere to be seen. Neither is Amy. For all intents and purposes, it looks as though she's finished cleaning the area. And it is about that time, as you've worked your way around, you hear a loud, blood-curdling scream.
Oh, God. Should Derek make another check, then?
Derek! Make another Constitution.
All right, come on. Let's see.
Wake the up.
This is hilarious.
12 this time. Okay.
This time, the scream enters your dreams, and for just a moment, you think that it is your girl, Petra.
Ooh.
And you're not quite sure if it's her voice, but for just a moment, it causes you to, well, if you're a barbarian, to almost enrage. You get up, you grab your sword, and you unfurl the blanket, and you have your great sword there. You actually come up so quickly, not even noticing that you've been cuddling your battle axe, that you flip it in the air, and the axe just chunks right into the ground. And you have your great sword up, ready to, looking what's going on.
So what do you mean, my great sword or my warhammer?
Your warhammer is actually behind you. You were cuddling your great axe, and as you heard the scream, you got up and instinctually grabbed onto your great sword that was nearby and picked it up. But because you were cuddling your great axe, you fumbled it as you got up to stand at attention. That the head flips around and hits the ground, and it sticks into the wooden ground.
So how truly startled am I that I think this is I just heard the scream, I think it's my girl. Like, how startled and confused am I, out of curiosity?
I wouldn't say that you're startled so much as that the adrenaline starts kicking through your body, as if, because your mind thinks to itself, my girl is in trouble. Okay. I need to go find her and protect her. So your defensive instincts have kicked in at this point. You're ready to murder somebody. You are straight up. If someone comes at you, your brain goes right back to that kill or be killed mentality. There is no fight or flight. There's only fight some more, and make them fly, because you're not going to do it. You're going to go to the end, and that kind of blood curdling. You're getting as much oxygen in your blood as you can with your breathing, and you're focused, looking around for danger, only to realize it was a dream.
Okay, so I do have the sense that it was a dream.
After a while, yes. It only takes a few seconds, because
okay,
there's nothing in the room.
Otherwise, my character, as being who he is, would probably run straight, break through the door into the hallway, and try to figure out what's going on.
Well, because it sounded like your girl and that it's like when you're asleep, and I don't know this happens for me, but like when if I'm walking in a dream and I trip or something like that, that I can feel a sudden shift in the bed because my foot kicks out as a reaction. This is kind of like that same like reaction. Like you see a dog running in his dreams, like he's like asleep and he's kind of running, so his body's kind of running. It's kind of one of those things. Your body gets up ready to fight instinctually, and then you realized, oh, it was kind of
Okay.
it was a dream.
Okay, good. I was like, I'm gonna feel really bad for breaking down this damn door. In that case, I would just want to take a second, breathe, and then try to start putting my armor and stuff on quickly. And then make my way out into the hallway.
Okay. Huh. I like how my PHB it still has that new book smell. And I hope it keeps that smell for a long time.
So far mine has, so.
So, as you are trying to get into your armor, about a good 10 minutes goes by. And you cut, I mean, but after the scream, all is a bit quiet. As you put your armor on, your gear is on.
Okay.
At that point, while you're doing that, downstairs, Faragos goes to the kitchen and sees Amy, who has just discovered the body of Harriet Lockwell. In her hands is a very familiar bin, and in her shock, she drops it, scattering all of the pottery all over the floor, on top of the island, and even towards the body. I'd say as she screams, and I'm trying to think, where is she? And not Derek.
Who?
I was trying to think of. I had some notes here. You can go back to my own notes, written in the margin. She screams, and just as Faragos gets there, and he walks into the room, and he sees almost like an explosion of pottery all over again, and he sees Amy finish screaming, and she turns and she just runs out. At this point, down the stairs, you see Lord Berkstaff yet again, just looking like, what is going on? He is unable to catch Amy as she runs off, and he ends up running up to Faragos. Just what in the blue blazers is going on here? And he happens to look past your shoulder to notice the dead body of Harriet Lockwell. And he just kind of covers his mouth in horror. And as he's looking at Farragos, look at him, and noticing all this, he looks like he's about to throw up. He's like, huh. And he puts up a hand. I'll be fine. Just one moment. And he turns and pulls out a handkerchief and says, I suppose I should see to Miss Amy. Excuse me. And just starts walking down the hallway towards her. Inside the kitchen, a very befuddled Rhubarb well, that just contaminated the crime scene. It's gonna take me a little while longer to get this sorted out. About that time, as Farrago seems to be just seeing everything that's happening around him, he hears a big tall man that he's become to know quite well, Varro, coming down the hallway with his greatsword, trying to find out what's going on.
Well, I see you finally have woken up.
When people scream, I wake up. The hell's going on down here?
A lot has happened. Where to begin?
How about with the dead person real quick?
That is, well, that's Harriet. Harriet Lockwell. Remember her? The one that was pissy at you.
Yes, I can see that. Who killed her? Do I need to kill somebody here? What is going on?
Well, that's what we were trying to find out until Amy saw the body and spilled pottery. She broke a pot or vase, and yeah, she saw Harriet pulling a book after the dinner we had. She was the first to leave. I remembered that note, which I wrote out of character. I wrote that down. I forgot I wrote that down. Anyway, and here we are. I tried to look at the body. She had this book. I kind of pull it out and show him a bit, showing the title. She was putting this away, and then Amy saw her, and that's what I woke up to, because I was meditating, and I woke up and then heard a loud crash, and that was the broken vase, and so I was helping with that, and so everyone had woken up except you until now, and that's where we are. How's that?
So, you all know nothing, is basically what I'm getting from this?
We don't know who killed her, yes.
Alright. Now I know where we stand. Okay. Well, Detective Rhubarb, what do you know?
I know that if one of you guys don't stop pestering me, let me do my work. I'm gonna pistol whip the both of you, whatever the hell a pistol is. Get out of here.
Sorry, Detective. If you need help.
Talk to your friend over here. I'm working.
We should probably step away for a little bit. Let him do his investigation until the morning. Perhaps we should see how Amy's faring, because she's just saw this happened. Wait a minute. I'm forgetting someone.
Forget who are we forgetting?
Lady Silverhall. How could she have slept through all this?
You know, heavy sleepers do tend to sleep through many things.
So
I
as you
couldn't
say,
agree more.
as you say that, Constable Custard's trying to keep the perimeter, and honestly, Vero didn't really notice him until he pipes up. He looks at you. That one? That lady is as dainty as she comes. You could drop a feather and she would wake up. He just kind of laughs and looks at you and just goes back to holding a perimeter.
So then she would have heard the murder.
The scream she would have heard, or even the broken pot would have woken her first.
Well, why don't you and I go try to find her? There's this cruel grin that comes up on Varro's face.
Okay.
I technically whispered that to just my compatriot here.
Sure, let's go check on her.
Okay, to be fair, does Ro ever do anything subtly?
In his mind, it's subtle. I don't know how actual subtle it is, but
Yeah, he's not very subtle.
I may have thought it was subtle. Everyone else may hear it, but I thought I whispered it to my compatriot here.
It's just like a loud, booming whisper.
We should go!
Well, let's head on upstairs then.
Okay.
For the record, I have not put away my greatsword. It's just like in my hand. It's my two other giant weapons around me.
Okay. So, you guys make your way through the halls, and upstairs to the very familiar hallway that has most of the bedrooms on either side. You look down the hallway, and you happen to notice that you're not quite sure where her door is.
I start banging on doors.
All right.
In my attempted subtle way, that's probably just a booming bang that anyone thinks is a battering ram.
So, let's see. There are several rooms there. So let's see. How many rooms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need a D8. Which one's a D8?
The one with 1 through 8 on it.
There's actually 2 different dice that with 1 through 8 on it, jackass. So there's a D10 that has a 8 on 1
It
through 8
kind of
on
looks
it.
like
A
a
D12.
diamond,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
It's like a
Like
diamond.
a diamond.
my God. And on that note, we're going to take a break. Oh, I really should make a new one for this.
I want to get some more dice.
I found some dice scattered about some of the new boxes I've got. I have 8 more boxes left. I'm pretty sure I have all my dice.
I'm probably gonna buy the book too at some point here.
Have you not been getting paid?
of these clouds rest in you. I won't grow weary. I will not fade. You in you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Down. rock this place. That'll rock this place. That'll rock this place. Rock this place. Rock this place. Rock this
Okay, now, from the beginning. There's a joint on the corner where the big boys play, where the whiskey's running like the river, but they all never come for the booze and bass. I'm the one, I'm the lady that'll rock this place. That'll rock this place. That'll rock this place. Rock this place. Rock this place. Rock this Okay, now.
Are you ready?
There's a joint on the corner where the big boys play.
All right, welcome back, guys. Hope you had a wonderful break. Got me a nice beverage here, which I guess I got too small of a straw. So, there are about 8 rooms in front of you guys, 2 of which are obviously yours. And if you're going randomly to each door to find out whose it is, I'll just have to roll 3. You walk up to a door and you start banging on it, and you realize that it's unlocked. And from the inside, you can tell that it is in fact Amy's room. There's nowhere to be seen. She's nowhere to be seen.
She's the one who
She's
side-
a-
brought me my alcoholic beverage the day before.
yeah.
Okay.
little tiefling girl.
Okay. The room looks fairly undisturbed, other than just the bed thrown aside. You see, a pair of workers' clothes and stuff like that laid out, and some night clothes and the clothes she wore the night before. Well, I should say that Amy was wearing her evening attire. Nope, you're already going through that door. You guys do anything else in the room, or go to the next one?
I'm moving to the next one, but whatever he does.
4, 5, actually. You walk across the hall, and you look at all the doors, and you're just like, okay. And you walk over, and you just start grabbing the door, and finally you get it to come open, and you look around, and you see a few books stacked up, and you get the impression that this is most likely Harriet's room, which obviously she's dead, so therefore she's accounted for.
Do I? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Why don't you tell me how to live my life?
I just did. I'm telling you how your character's living his life. Oh!
I was probably just gonna say the same thing. Like, do we see anything that seems really out of place? Has the place been tossed or anything?
No, strangely enough, everything has just been... there doesn't look to be any kind of disturbance that you can tell.
You said there was books stacked up.
Yes, there were a few books. Essentially,
Can I investigate and see what those were? Well, I guess I'm saying I'm doing that. Sorry.
if you want to roll an investigation check.
Oh.
In the hustle and bustle, you look in there, because as soon as you go in there and when Varro doesn't see anybody, he just kind of walks out. You just kind of like, oh, okay, nothing here, and you notice that the book, kind of like the names of the books, and each one of the books are actually just titles of more cryptography books, but nothing really jumps out at you from what you can tell.
I'm gonna start tossing the room, looking for anything.
Which one?
Out of the
Harriet's room?
ordinary. Yep, Harriet's room.
Okay. With
In my subtle manner.
a sword in one hand, you go and you lift up the covers, and you kind of throw pillows everywhere, and you see a bit of her travel luggage. You open it up, you see more clothing. Nothing that strikes your attention off the bat. But go ahead and make...
Can I say I'm helping him?
Make an investigation check with advantage.
Ooh, shit. Okay, that's terrible.
Room.
Exactly, she's dead. I want to know why, who killed her.
As you are throwing stuff around,
Here it comes.
shut up. You throw a pillow off to the side, and instead of a, you hear a, and you raise up, and you look back at where you threw that pillow, and you think to yourself, what the heck? Pillows don't make that kind of a noise. And as you go and look at the pillow, you pick it up, and off to one end has a bit more heft to it than you realize. And you're like, okay. And, well, you're doing this all one-handed. So you kind of put the sword underhanded and then kind of have it tucked underneath your arm. And you hold the pillowcase and you reach inside and you find a little book, a journal.
That seems way too sophisticated for me. I feel like I would have just dumped it on the floor with one hand.
Well, you didn't say you. We just
Wait a
went
minute,
there.
I have a journal.
Well, since it was a prissy woman's room, you felt like you owed it to her just to be a little bit prissy. So you did.
So no. Okay. Does the journal say anything on the cover?
No, it's just leather bound book.
All right. With one hand, I'm gonna start flipping through it.
What's your intelligence score?
12.
Okay.
Gosh. Pleb.
So
I'm
as
strong.
your
break me
big 6-foot man thumbing through a journal, there are a lot of words on there.
I'm not dumb, but more.
Can I go up to him and just grab the book and be like, let me look at that?
Make an attack roll if you want.
I'm
I
not
don't-
attacking him.
Just
Wouldn't it just be a strength check versus how much I can hold in one hand?
fine. We'll do opposing checks. Let's
Yeah.
do
Oh, God.
Farragos, give me a dexterity check, and give me a strength check from Draco, from Varro. Holy
Okay.
crap!
Oh, he wins.
So
But
as you're trying to read this book with one hand, your sword's kind of on your shoulder. You're kind of like scratching your neck with it, trying to read all of these words. It's like, this is boring. What am I looking at? Okay, you had breakfast one day. It's almost looking like through a boring Valley Girls diary Instagram. Like what? Like oh my gosh, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't care about that.
And so as you're trying to read it, all of a sudden you see the book just disappear from your hand. You're like, what the crap? You look down and you see Varro just absorbing the knowledge. And before you could get indignant, and before you're like, listen here, you little...
I wouldn't do that. My character would not do that.
Wouldn't?
He'd look for a second and be like, oh, okay. If it was something I cared about, then we'd have an issue.
Well, you were reading it. It was yours, and someone took what was yours, and it's no longer yours.
I'm not that much of an angry. It takes a lot to.
I didn't say that you were angry. I said that you just grabbed it, and you're like, well, hey, look, I was reading that. I was educating myself. I didn't say you were mad about it. You were just kind of like, wait, hey, what? It's just kind of rude. Calm with thyself. Improv. Yes, and?
And I knock him over. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I thought your character wasn't angry. Oh my gosh, what was going on? He just hits him, you
No.
see.
Apparently, you want me to hit him.
So at this point, Varro, or not, see, Farragos reads through it and has a eureka moment. He reads through the journal and he comes across a passage not that long ago that talks about how Harriet, not Harriet, that how Harriet had gotten into an argument at a function with Lady Silverhall. The two of them, on several personal matters and a few business matters, have been quarreling for some time. Now, at this point, as you go through her, continue to read, it's becoming very evident that there's some bad blood here. And Harriet actually got the better part of the deal, but now the problem then becomes Lady Silverhall is doing her best to ruin her life, but she's not going to get away with it. And the passage sort of ends with her just being happy and smug about the turn of events and kind of gloating a little bit. The passage ends with Miss Lockwell simply just calling Lady Silverhall a sore loser and an old cow.
Interesting.
How long does it take him to read all this?
To himself, it takes him about 2 minutes.
I'm super fast.
Okay. Draco wouldn't have gone off yet.
Draco
Varro.
is, yeah. Do you even know what character you're playing, bro?
All of a sudden, in So-Si's room, Bob comes out of nowhere and destroys him.
With hugs and amazing fist bumps. Booyah! I can do that too. We hang out, we play video games. I was like, you're my new best friend. Oh, and we become bros, and like we go and we slay stuff, and then like we take, Draco blades and we give him a wedgie, we hang him off the basketball court thing, and he's just kind of like sitting there for a while. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow, that just went way farther than I fucking expected. That's awesome. Okay.
Don't question your
as
DM.
He's reading this, I guess. Okay, no, go ahead, Cheeto.
Oh, I was just gonna think, because since I'm smart and
Smart.
and he knows that she's been studying and somehow has this deep understanding of encryptology. Do I notice anything strange about the journal? Like, is there anything that possibly could be like something coded? Probably like an intelligence check or something, maybe.
Do you still have the book on you?
Yes.
It'll take you a while, but you can sit and try and decipher it if you want.
I'm gonna try and see. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Come on, this is what I was built for. It. Wow.
Mark my
He
ass.
rolls me a 2.
From what you can gather, you can't seem to find any kind of correlation between any kind of patterns or anything of that nature. You could try again the next day.
Okay. Very strange.
If he's taking all this time, I'm going. Continuing to knock on doors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, I should try to knock one down. See.
I, okay.
I'm,
Getting impatient?
Are you gonna kick in a door?
no, what I meant by that is like I just start knocking on a door, and sometimes I don't realize my own strength, so I should roll to see if I accidentally break the door.
Okay. You go to the next door and you notice that it is in fact a bit different from the other doors you have been looking at, and this door is actually a bit more elaborate. And you quickly notice that this is most likely the door to the master bedroom. And if that's the case, Berkstaff, who actually, does your character know that Berkstaff isn't there? You don't know that.
No, I have no idea. Like
No one
I
answers
came
the door.
down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to open the door then.
Okay. The door opens up, and it's a large 30-foot by 30-foot room with vast bay windows overlooking the lake of the estate. No one's in there.
Hello.
You see a picture of it's like a self-portrait of Lord Berkstaff on the wall. But other than that, yeah.
Okay. Nothing off about the room. Everything seems copacetic.
It just looks like you see his formal wear laying on a chair, and then which kind of gives way to his nightwear that he had. Other than that, no.
Okay. I turn around, I go to the next door, and I don't close this door.
Okay.
I've left all these doors open. Every door is just open.
All right. As you go to the next room, I rolled a 4. Who's 4? Oh, excuse me. Where are my notes? You knock on the door so hard, you hear a startled yelp from behind the door. And you notice that it is the brothers Fairbrand brothers, excuse me.
Hello?
Well, what is it you want, young feller? And as you open the door, well, actually, Fairghost, where are you in all this? You're like, what are you doing in all this?
How long would it have taken me to have done all that?
Just to kind of look at it and see if you've noticed anything. Probably a few minutes. You would have probably.
Yeah, I would have.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have followed him. I would have went out and been like, I would have looked at whichever door he would have been last opened, or if he's standing in the hallway.
And you see the two brothers, and the two brothers are packing. They are in their travel clothes, and it's like, well, what'd you need there, young fella? Yeah, we're fixing to hit the road. We can't be involved in any kind of murder. And
Were you involved in the murder?
I said involved in a murder, not that we murdered anybody.
But if you didn't murder anyone, you're not involved with the murder. You mean the murder investigation?
Listen here, feller. Get the rocks out your brain. Being here, we can't be a part of any of it. And make an insight check.
Checky of the inside.
Can I also do that, or just him?
18 plus 0.
They're scared. It's not so much that they look guilty so much as they're just really scared to be anywhere near or involved in any of this.
Would you all like an escort outside?
Well, I suppose that'll be pretty good. Well, that'd
Well,
been
hold on a second.
mighty fine.
Yes, Fargo.
Garros.
Sorry,
Anyway.
far.
But you guys were the first to see the dead body. That's why you ran from the kitchen. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, unless she found a way to, stab herself in the back or something 37 times. And his brother's like, well, that'd be a nice, fair trick, but I don't think that's what happened. And they're still packing and they're moving their stuff. And they're fixing, they just keep buckling their suitcases together while they're gathering their things.
Wait, shoot. So hold on, because I didn't really pay much attention in the kitchen. Did I see that she was stabbed multiple times in the back?
No.
Okay. She was
I would
stabbed.
have kind of described it because it essentially was
But
just
you,
like pools of blood.
Yeah, the only thing you saw were blood. You weren't sure like how she died.
Yeah.
The blood was everywhere. You couldn't even see. You barely saw the wounds because there's just blood everywhere. So you didn't even know, like, obviously there were wounds, but you weren't sure what kind of wounds they are, whether they're stab or puncture. It was a bloody mess, and you couldn't tell lighting, all that fun stuff.
I was just mainly saying he would have when I was trying to explain all that, he probably knows about as much as I do now about what happened. So all the details and stuff, Derek, that he would have told me, I would have informed you of.
So I know she was stabbed. Don't know how many times possibly.
Well, we don't know if she was stabbed.
Oh, you do now.
Yeah, because they just said that she was stabbed. I'm assuming 47 times is exaggeration. On their part. With my insight check, it was more of a
maybe slightly, but they didn't stick around to just count every one of the stab wounds. But it was more than one, more than a few. At this point, they've got most of their stuff packed, and they're reaching for the door.
I'll escort you fellas out if you'd like. Could always use with a good fight.
Wait, what?
Escorting them out. They're afraid. Hopefully somebody tries to attack them and I can fight.
Oh, okay. I was like,
fighting them.
I was like, hey, two old men.
I'm not meaning, I'll meet you guys outside. Let's go.
They turn out to be 2 level 20 monks, and they just whoop the crap out of you. Like, how?
I'd probably laugh while getting my ass.
Varro, listen to me. We can't let them leave. I'm sorry, Farbrand brothers. You're part of this investigation now. You just can't leave.
Okay, make a persuasion check.
Oh God.
What's the opposite of persuade?
Oh, I won!
I'm curious.
There you go.
Okay.
Wait.
What was that for?
What was that for?
I was because I'm not very wise. I was curious if I would roll lower than him and believe everything he says.
Who?
Orgeros. He's trying to convince me of something. It might not be super hard to convince me of something.
I mean,
so I was curious if I would get lower than his.
You got a +5 to your persuasion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
I've got a +2.
It's one of my proficiencies, I think.
Okay. Right. The brothers kind of look at themselves, and they look at you, and look at themselves, like, and they just shrug and continue to leave. They walk past you.
I walk with them.
All right.
I'm almost tempted to cast a spell on them.
Cast a spell on
What would your
me.
character do? Come on. This is what we play this game.
For each slot level above 2, the human must Hold on, I'm reading it. Give me a second. Oh, let me just post it here with you guys because I don't understand. Maybe I think it's more than one person I can cast it on.
Well, it's area effect. Make sure that you put it in the right channel.
Yep, it's an out of character. It's at the higher levels one.
Okay.
Are you doing this?
So is it just 2 people? Or yeah, it's one an additional target.
Wait, what? Oh, so you can hold 2 people? Wait, what?
Yeah, I can hold 2 people. It's a 3rd level spell.
Yeah. What's the DC on it?
The target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed. So 15.
Who are you
I'm
putting it
casting this spell. I'm putting it on the 2 old men.
And the DC is what? 15.
15, yeah.
Jeez. It's a wisdom savings throw. Are you saying?
Wisdom saving throw. Can I describe it too? If it works.
Okay. As you conjure the energy, the 2 brothers are walking, and they're about to get to the end of the hallway. And as they're walking, their foot, both of their foot walking in tandem, as they go to put their foot down to go downstairs, they just kind of stop there for a second.
Oh God.
And then they just lean up, look at each other, look back at you, and they just kind of give you the bird, like, well, that was a nice try, young fella, but you're gonna have to wake up pretty early to get one over on the Fairbrand brothers. Well, you kids these days, and they continue to walk down the stairs. I rolled a natural 20 and got 24 because they get a +4 to wisdom savings throws. And with that,
Wait, don't you have to roll for each of them?
Because of them, they count it as 1.
Wow. Okay.
They're treated yeah, as
So wait, would I still select both of them, or would I
Yeah,
then
if they
just
count as one,
apply
that
it to
means he's
Derek?
old person me.
there's still 2 people there for the purposes of stuff like
Okay.
this. It's counted as 2. So you they and then go downstairs. And
I'm following, having no idea what just transpired. I'm very confused while everyone's looking at each other.
So as you kind of see your friend doing his magical willy gillies, you're like, what are you? You kind of get this like, okay, and you look back at the brothers and you're like, you're not sure what exactly just happened, but as they walk down the stairs, you look back at your buddy Farragos, and he's just kind of like, I'm not sure why it didn't work. You turn back to just go after them, And as you get downstairs, all you see is their luggage. The brothers are nowhere to be seen.
Were they carrying their luggage?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like it was dropped or placed?
It looks like it was placed.
Is there a hallway to the right? Hallway to kind of start looking around for them?
So as you go down the stairs, to your left is kind of the meeting room that you started in when you first came in, and then eventually the door, which is still locked and barred. And to your right is the hallway that you went down the night before, looking for looking for Amy to get you your drink.
Okay, so it's right is a locked barred door.
The front door, correct.
Front door. Left. I see no sign of them.
Not that you can tell.
All right. Are there any rooms to my right or left besides the door? Like,
You come down when you come downstairs. You're actually inside of the greeting room. The hall splits off to the left and right as you go down it, which, as you know, leads to the kitchens and the dining room and to the rest of the house. So you're not. I mean, from there, it's anyone's guess what happened. But then, of course, as you go out into the left, you see that there are. You see that the door leads on, or just the front door.
and I saw nothing of them just like whatsoever. Like, how long was it between me following them getting out of my? It couldn't have been long. It could have only been a few seconds, correct? Because I was just following them the whole time.
It was about a couple minutes.
What took a couple minutes?
Because you were concentrated on Farragos, and you just had this kind of exchange. It took about a minute, and you just kind of turned around, and the Fairbrand brothers were moving rather quickly. They made it downstairs, so it was only about a couple minutes, which is still kind of strange for them to be gone that quickly.
All right, now you've made Varro a little bit angry and upset. So he's gonna start just going to every door and slamming it open and start looking for the brothers.
Downstairs?
Yep.
Okay. As you move through the hallways, dining room, there's nothing. The library, you come open to the library. It's dark in there anyway. There's no real lights of that nature.
I'm just yelling out for the brothers the entire time.
Nothing. You make your way to the armor and trophy room. Open it up. There is nothing. Let me look. What other? You even make your way back upstairs, or the dining room. Nothing. But as you're walking through, you come back upstairs. Actually, hold on. As you make your way into the... trying to think how that connects together. Okay, so as you make your way past the dining room, or the dining room back again, doubling back, you notice that there is, of course, the pantry. And after that, you don't see anything to the point to where you're frustrated. And you go upstairs and to find Farragos obviously still up there. Well, How long does it about take?
I mean, I'm moving quickly. I'm not stopping really to investigate. I'm literally opening doors, looking down stuff, and just moving through the entire place. Like,
If anything, I would have been like looking at my spell book and just wondering why the spell didn't go off.
Feeling kind of frustrated and upset, you make your way back upstairs to see Farragos just looking through his spell book, and like, did I mess up the thing right, or like it doesn't look like it was done properly, or like you just kind of like, I don't understand, and you're like, no, it worked. And as you kind of approach him, looking kind of pissed off, you happen
I
to
would have
notice.
yelled his name as I saw him still just standing there.
Well, he's kind of. It's been about maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, if he's still staying there for 10 minutes and I'm coming back, and I see him in the exact same spot, I would be yelling his name as I walk up the stairs.
Who's Fairbrand Brothers or
No, Farragos.
Okay.
Roleplay it.
Farragos, what are you doing?
I forgot to add salt. That's.
Salt.
What's going on? What do you
The
need?
brothers are missing, and you're here talking about salt.
But missing? What? They just went down the stairs. They're still down there.
Do you
You
not
walked
hear
down-
me throwing doors open down there, yelling their name?
Would I've heard that, DM?
I'm
Okay.
not a quiet person.
I'm gonna say because of how focused you were on your spell failing, you most likely heard it, just weren't paying attention to it.
Okay.
So no one passed you up here?
No, you both went down. I mean, all three of you went down the stairs, and then I was trying to figure out why the spell didn't work, and then you came back yelling my name.
Alright, I'm turning around at this point. I'm going back to the front door in a very rushed fashion.
As you turn to go down the stairs, something catches your eye on the other side of Farragos. Something shiny. And you look up in the ceiling, it's a pull chain to the attic. At this point, you're like, fine. You're kind of frustrated with Farragos. Maybe they walked right by him and he didn't even notice it. Do you check the attic?
Do
How
I see
tall
this too, or is it just him?
I mean,
How tall is the ceiling?
okay. Okay. At this point, like you see how frustrated he was, and then you see him walk away, and whatever stopped him and made him turn back, you kind of follow his gaze, and you see it to your right. It's hanging probably about the ceiling's about 10 feet tall, but the chain is hanging down about 4 feet from it. So if Varro could easily reach it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna reach up, grab it, and just throw it open.
As you reach and pull on it, there is the stairs come down. Do you have a light source?
I do. Mwahaha. Dancing lights.
Varro?
I mean, no, I don't have any light sources.
This is-
Whatever
this-
lights in the hallway, and then I open it down. So if I can't see anything up there, I mean,
So out of my crystal, I whisper a few things, and then out of it, just 4 glowing globules plop out, and then start stacking themselves up into the attic.
Okay. Who's going first?
no, I've like if I pull it down, I'm automatically guarantee you going up first.
I'm letting him go first.
You make your way up into the attic. It is dimly lit. It's a dusty room. As as you make your way up, you see several boxes up there. Um, and other kind of stored um, belongings. A few things with sheets over them, things of that nature. Um, make a perception check, Derek.
Okay. 17.
As you look up there, you see something and you turn back down, but then you do kind of this double take. Something in your pit of your stomach starts to turn. Like eating too many bad burritos before bed. And you just kind of... Petra's name starts just flashing in your brain. Like your image of her just flashed there for a moment. You want to shake it off, but something doesn't quite let you. You continue up the stairs, and you walk over to a bit of a desk area that's a bit cleaner than the other spots. And as you work your way through like stuff that's laying there, you notice a bit of cloth. It's actually quite familiar to you. In the culture in which Petra is from, it is customary for husbands and wives to exchange these bits of cloth that have their family sigil on them, their branding, kind of like a small tapestry almost. Obviously, it's something that you a person can carry with ease on them. And when they get married, they exchange such cloths. And the only reason you notice this is because you've talked about such unions with her, and she has told you this. Without a doubt, it's hers.
Do I recognize the family sigil or anything on it?
Oh yeah, this is hers. This is Petra's.
My wife or my girl that I just found out might have been murdered?
That is correct. You're not sure why it's here. You're not sure how it got here.
I would probably be stuck for a second. For probably a minute or two, just kind of in shock at this. So I don't know what Farragus would be doing at this moment.
I would have walked up behind him and kind of like figure out what he's looking at. Do I notice what he's looking at? Like, do I make the connection?
From where you're standing, without doing any kind of effort, you're just kind of seeing a guy standing there.
Faro, do you see anything?
I turn with this cloth in my hand and this just absolute look of dread on my face that you've never seen before. Like someone finally got a hit on me and I just can't take it.
Like that time the Etten got to hit him in the face with his club, and he just kind of almost shrugged it off, but he looked pretty bad.
Do I have Petra as part of my knowledge, or was that just something that was like for him only?
It got talked about by the detective.
Yeah, but you
okay.
don't know. I mean,
wouldn't
that's
have.
that's up to you. How much did you share of Petra?
If we'd been doing this for a couple weeks, you know that I recently lost my girl Petra. Not a ton of details about it and everything, but that I had a girl named Petra, and She was the love of my life, and
If I read my notes correctly, you said it's been about 5 years since she passed away.
yeah.
And I wouldn't have known the context of like the historical thing of what this is in its hands, though. Probably.
No. It's not from mine. Like I
not for
would
him. Make a history check if you want.
Okay. Because I might have read something, or maybe if it works.
You are familiar with. You see a cloth, and you hear a woman being called. It's not uncommon for what is typical of that, but other than that, you can't quite tell exactly. Making all the connections to that.
This is. This is the
What
love
is
of
it?
my life's cloth that was normally presented during marriage ceremonies. And why is this here? All of a sudden, you see anger come over Varro, very uncharacteristically.
As I recognize what's going on with him right now, I think back on the chisel. Is a chisel, right? And
Yeah, it's a wood chisel.
and I kind of go to grab it and I pull it out and I kind of, with him, we both just kind of stand there for a second. Tara. And Petra. Why would both of these be here, you mean?
What is that? What? Huh?
This is, this is my sister's, Tara's chisel. She loves to craft things, and this is her little marksmanship on here, and a little insignia. I found it when Amy broke the pot. I found it there, laying there. I could smell the elderwood.
Where's your sister now?
I don't know. 5 years she's been gone.
5 years?
Yes.
My beloved has also been gone 5 years. And now these both.
Shane, is that correct?
Mhm.
That's what you told me, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm going back to this desk that seems cleared off, or not as dusty.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna start tearing through it in a somewhat crazed madman fashion.
The desk looks as though it's been essentially used as a sorting station. You see boxes of different trinkets and small items that seem just kind of like junk that's been kind of laying around. Nothing else of importance that seem neither valuable or anything of that nature.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna roll a 6.
I'm gonna use the restroom right quick while you do that.
For it. 1 to 3, no. 4, 5, 6, yes. Okay. Shane's gonna have fun when he gets back.
Strange things are happening.
Oh yeah, I'm about to flip the desk.
Is that what you rolled for?
Yep, 1 to 3, I am able to control my anger. 4 to 6, I cannot. I rolled a 4.
This is gonna be interesting.
One way to get under Varro's skin, Petra.
question is, why would Tar and Petra both be?
Well, I think there is something else going on, and like I just thought it like as Varro, I thought this of that's too much of a coincidence. Someone might be messing with us, and that is the other thing that's making Varro very angry.
You rolled a d6 for what?
I flipped the desk in complete total anger.
Okay.
Kind of like I literally just pick it up and just throw it, like literally lift it up and let it be thrown wherever it goes.
Okay.
And let's see, do I see anything? There's no one up here, correct? Besides me and Faragos?
Correct. No one else is up there with you.
Someone has explaining to do. And I'm going to head where I assume most of the people are, or at least where I last saw them, which was the dining room? Or was it the kitchen? Where
The most people you saw was in the kitchen, but that was just the Constable Custard and Detective Rhubarb, who are still checking out the body.
So we're missing Lady Silverhall. The brothers have disappeared. Lockwell's been killed, and Amy's missing as well.
Yeah, she ran off, and Lord Burkstaff, ran after her. But you have no idea where they went to.
Oh, wow. We're about to tear a house apart. But I'm heading towards where the girl was murdered first.
You still have 3 more rooms you haven't checked, by the way.
Oh, then I am absolutely checking every room, and it's in a very angry fashion. Like, I'm not knocking, I'm literally either opening the door or I am breaking down the door.
Okay. You open up 2 of the doors, and you notice that one room belongs to Detective Rhubarb. You see an extra tobacco pouch that he's been smoking out of, a few books and notes and stuff like that he has written, scribbled in Draconic on the table. But other than that, it's empty. And you know where he's at. He's in the kitchen. The next one is Custard's room. And you see a suitcase opened, and in it are just cans and jars of food. Provisions of that kind of opened up and sitting there, and some that are empty and kind of on the desk. But again, you know where he is at. As you come tearing through the hallway, kind of like Scooby-Doo in one of those, as you run through the doors. You come at last to Lady Silverhall's room. What would you like to do once you get there? Once you open it up, you see a whole bunch of dresses on the bed. The bed actually hasn't even been slept in at all. Interestingly enough. You stand in the room rather confused. The incense stick still burning the last remnants of sweet jasmine through the air. The freshly made bed and the densely packed clothes. Where could Lady Silverhall have gone? By all appearances, it seemed as though she was settling in here quite nicely, yet if that were the case, why had she simply vanished in such peculiar fashion?
Can I investigate and see if there's any hint of what? Like, are there any windows? I should ask, actually.
There's a couple, but they both look secure. So you're both in the room, is that correct?
Hmm.
Right. Well, not seeing it. Are you? You said you're doing an investigation check. Is that right?
Yeah, if I can, I want to investigate the windows and the door.
The door to what? The wardrobe or?
Well, I want to see where she would have gone if she went through the door, if there's anything particularly that shows that she left from a particular way.
I mean, just at first glance, the door's unlocked and the windows are tightly secured. Is there anything else you want to investigate, or?
Well, I mean, I'm going to investigate the room if I don't see anything on those
Well,
things.
roll an investigation check. Let's see what you got. Nice. So, you walk over to the door window, and it confirms your suspicion. The dust on the latch doesn't look like it's been moved in quite some time. You go to the door, and it. Your first impressions is it's like she walked in, um, started getting settled in, left, and is not there, or she's just not there at all. Nothing in the room appears to be out of place, but it is clear that lady must have spent at least some time since the incense stick was lit recently.
Can I tell how long that would have been with the way that the incense stick is?
Um, the incense stick, the way that it's burning, it's only been burning for a few hours. Which kind of matches up with the time frame.
Because, yeah, it's like, what, 4 in the morning now?
Uh, at this point, 10, 11, 11, 12, 1,
So I think 2 is like,
3. It's about 3:30. Yeah, 3:34 in the morning.
okay. I'm gonna look down I would have gotten out and looked to see if there was any other rooms.
So, well, okay.
And I'll
So
leave
while
it
you're
at that.
doing all this, Varro, what are you doing? Oh no, did we lose Derek?
I'm sorry, what? My mother was talking to me she was yelling about stuff.
Mom, I'm trying to play video games with my friends. Leave me alone.
Okay. So, what happened?
Uh,
I know that supposedly she went out through the window, and she's been gone for a few hours.
no.
Sorry.
Oh
I
my
missed
god.
You got the few hours correct.
The incense burning recently, something.
So Farragos is investigating the room, and it's taken him a few minutes. What are you doing?
Oh, if it's taking him a few minutes, I'm heading towards the kitchen.
All right. As he investigate. Oh wait. Okay, hold on. So in the middle of the investigation, you pull up. You're just kind of going through the dresses, and you see a stain about halfway down in one of the dresses. You pull it up to look at closer, and you see behind that dress there's another stain in the same exact spot, only a little bit bigger. The more you keep peeling away, the bigger the stain gets, until towards the bottom of it you see the missing knife from the kitchen, covered in what you can only assume as is Harriet's Lockwell's blood.
So that stain, can I tell that that's blood then?
Y- yes, it's blood.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure because you just said stain. Okay.
Well, okay, it's a. They all have stains on them. It seeped through, is what it did, and so like the more you
Ah.
peel it off, come on, keep
Okay.
up, keep up.
I got it.
So
I
as Varro goes to leave, Farragos has one of his eureka moments, causing him to kind of like, "What'd you find?" What are you guys doing?
So what did you say? I turned back, like he made an eureka.
He just kind of had this like you could tell that he noticed something, but I'll leave him to share that.
Because at this point, I'm turning to leave. I'm not paying much attention. I'm in a
Well,
different state of mind.
you see Farragos holding a bloody knife. He doesn't use knives, so you know it to be just a meat cleaver, or a chef, a butcher's knife.
The same one that was in the kitchen missing.
We need to find.
We need to get to the detective for this.
Okay.
We need to find everybody.
As you turn to walk out of the room, pondering yourself if any locations in which she could be hiding, or if she, what else and whatnot, you feel your leg catch on the rug below you. You look down only to see a collection of beady black eyes now looking hungrily back. Roll initiative.
Where are
Oh,
these
where
guys
is
at?
this? Where is this?
The rug you guys are moving on
In the room?
in the room.
In Silverhall's room? What?
No, it's on the roof, bud. Where are you at? Like, I mean, come on.
Well, okay, so the reason I'm asking these questions is because there's always been. I always want to make sure there's no miscommunication on what's going on. So if you just say the rug, that could have been in the hallway as we were walking out. That could have been anywhere.
You guys are still in the room.
That's
I'm at the
making
door
sure.
to the room. Like I'm not actually in there. But
Well, then if that's the case, it's catching a hold of Vara, what's your initiative?
20.
20.
Mine's 12.
All right. If you move on over,
It takes up the whole room.
I guess so. Holy crap. Let me.
Shrink it to shrink.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I have a spell that will actually make him larger if I wanted to.
Then I really will fill up the whole room almost. Thank jeez.
I don't know why it does this crap. I really don't. So, Mr. Pendergast over here, Mr. Farragos,
You're right there.
is almost
Oh,
out the door,
Cool.
and the mimic
Mimic.
well, I thought I can make it bigger.
Maybe you like scroll your thing.
Oh my gosh. I fucking hate this thing. Like, I forgot how to make you guys is. Oh, that's Alt. Would you stop that?
Oh, which way is it? Okay, here we go.
Ba-do-do-do-do.
So I can't have nice things. All right. So, round one, fight. All right. So,
K.O.
Derek
Who?
or Varro goes first, and he sees this carpet start to come to life, big gnashing teeth, snapping hungrily at at your friend here.
Okay. I would like to try to
Talk with it.
No, thank God, no. Not in the state I'm in right now. So as soon as I see this gnashing teeth and stuff, I am going to stab up with my longsword and try to pierce it and what's it called? Like stick it to the roof. Pin it with my sword to the roof.
Your great sword or your long sword? There's two different kinds of swords.
It's my long sword.
Okay, roll it. Chris, you're on deck. Get ready. Yeah.
Fageros.
Wow, a natural one.
Ooh, please, no.
Roll a d20.
Oh, God.
Farragos, what is your armor class?
13. I was about to cast mage armor, too. Please don't kill me. I just got here.
You take
Oh, golly.
five points of slashing damage.
From what?
From your longsword, Mr. Rolla 1.
So
Yeah,
wait, my longsword, my one is so bad that I hit him?
I rolled an 18. I rolled an 18 to hit him. Off my d20.
But why would I hit him? Like, I don't understand how I would do damage.
You
to him.
swung really wide
So-
and clipped him.
Yeah, if you roll a 1, or you can still do, like, the critical...
So what I
thing
did
with-
was like I wanted you to roll a d20 to see how bad your miss was.
Yeah.
And that miss was really high. So you come swinging in at him and you clip him. You clipped Farragos rather than clipping the thing.
Okay.
You have a bonus action and your movement. Wait, you're...
Okay, so for my bonus action, because I don't have it right now, I am going to unclip from my back, and I now have my battle axe at the ready as well. I'm standing there with a long sword and a battle axe for my next turn.
Well, you can draw your weapon as as part of your movement action, as far as I'm aware. So
Well, then I'm going to swing with my battle axe.
Okay. Go ahead and make the attack. And a 1.
12 to hit. I rolled a 4 this time. 4 times better.
Sure.
So as you swing your axe, the creature's it slams right into him. He's not able to move out of the way, and takes 12 points of damage.
Oh, wow. It's a low DC. Or AC.
Okay, and that will end.
And actually, I'm going to action surge and attack one more time.
Okay.
What is that?
It just allows me to take another action on my turn. We're going to attack again. This time I'm going to stab again with the longsword.
Is that a class feat?
You miss. Oh, you roll
Natural
another one?
again.
Roll a d20.
5.
Okay. It seems like your arm wants to move independently of the other, and as it does, this time it misses his head as it comes back around um to
Fargeros.
recover itself and misses Fargeros. Good lord.
2 natural ones with long.
Varro, are you trying to kill me?
I don't know.
I know you're angry, but let's try and kill this creature, not me.
Ah.
Um. So at this point, it moves to make a meal out of Mr. Fargeros. Um, and it goes. Make a dexterity check for me.
Why, of course.
Natural what?
At
Wait, a save or a check?
hey. So you have disadvantage on this roll as well. It's an ability check, so it's going to be dexterity.
So it's a check. Okay.
Correct. It's an ability check.
Okay.
And I have 2d20s to do advantage or disadvantage with. Mwah ha 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 ha.
Let's see if this rolls right.
Oh, oh my gosh. That's not bad there, my bud. So, as you try and get away, as it tries to grapple you, even more, wow. As you try to get, as it tries to grapple you, you're able to get away from it just in time, but it makes a bite attack towards you anyway with its big gaping maw, big row of teeth that just have nothing but saliva coming after you. And he rolls a 22 to hit. Does that hit?
Yeah.
And you take max damage. 3, 8, 11 points of piercing damage. Or bludgeoning damage, excuse me.
11?
Correct.
Sheesh.
Fargeros is down to 22 hit points. Oh no. And it's going to move to get a little bit closer to you all. As it wraps around, it comes after Mr. Varro as well. It is now Faragos' turn.
So, I'm sorry, I can't see. Has the giant M eaten us?
No, it's just in your same space. Oh, well, I guess it's more likely over here. Trying to... Yeah. as this crazy carpet-looking creature comes to eat your souls. All right, Farragos, it's your turn, old sport.
Good question. Did Misty Step have anything to do with advantage or not advantage? Attack of opportunities.
No. As far as I know, if you use Misty Step, you're bamf from one to the other and you're gone.
Yep, immediate.
Okay, that's what I thought. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. How do I want to do that? Do I really want to? If anything, I'm going to Misty Step into the corner right here.
Okay. And Misty Step.
So I cast that as a second level spell for me. I cast that one. That's a bonus action.
Okay.
And then I am going to cast on myself Mage Armor.
Okay.
And what that does is it's going to add my dexterity to my AC.
Okay.
So I should have... Is there a way to, wait a minute.
You just have to keep track of it. That's fine.
I think that's it, though.
That's it? Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on. I can't cast that on myself because that's already my AC. So that doesn't actually do anything. Because I would have known that.
Go ahead and post it in here. Let me actually.
Because it would. I'll post it here. I think it would be a condition that could apply to anyone else.
You touch a willing creature who isn't wearing armor, and a protective magical force surrounds it until the spell ends. The target creature's AC becomes 13 plus its dexterity modifier. If the spell ends if the target dons armor if you dismiss the spell as an action. So usually it's 10 plus your dexterity modifier. So you get a +3 to your AC. So your AC should be 16.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it's applying that 13 with where my AC is at because it's because of my
10.
13. Mine's 10 normally.
Yeah, it'd be 10 plus your dex, so you get a +3 to your AC. So you now have 16. You might not die.
So you just think of it as like it kind of doubles it a little bit. But okay, I'm just gonna.
So if that's your turn, we will go to Mr. Pendergast. Pendergast. What are we doing, bud?
Just attacking.
Just attacking. Okay.
Just attacking this damn thing. I'm going full gladiator on that.
Okay, cool. 16.
Another natural one. With the long sword.
That should be updated.
Roll a d20 for me.
Oof. What's up with
12.
even ones?
It's only on the long sword.
All right. Okay. Roll your next. How often do you get action surges? Just once?
No, I only get action surge once per short rest, but I still have two. I always have two attacks. With my great axe.
You swing your great axe or your long sword, your long sword into the wall. It sticks for just a second, but you're able to pull it out before it becomes an issue.
It's a hit. I think 26.
Yep, 26 hits, and the creature recoils back and just starts realizing you're at the moment the biggest threat, and decides to come eat your face.
Yep, and then for my bonus action, I'm dropping the longsword and pulling out the giant warhammer.
Okay.
because I'm angry with this longsword right now, so I'm going with the warhammer. Back up. And that's the end of my turn.
It's like a one-man band with all of his different instruments.
Instruments of doom. All right. The mimic comes at you and go ahead as it goes to gets close. It reaches out to grab you. Make a dexterity check.
16.
As it reaches out for you, it tries to grapple onto you. It doesn't quite make it. And oh shit. What you didn't realize is that was actually a feint, and it comes around and just latches onto you pretty hard. 6, 14. You take 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
So I take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. Woo!
Oh yeah. So that's 36. As it latches onto you and crunches in, it tries to get through your armor and realizes it's having a lot more tougher time getting through your armor. I actually critted on you, so I was like, holy crap. Oh, these metal dice are amazing. Oh, they're amazing.
As a gladiator fighting all kinds of monsters and stuff, do I know what we're fighting? Or do I need to make a history check?
I'm going to say make a history check.
8.
8. In your travels and the things that you've killed are mostly creatures that have some fight in them, not so much the creatures that lay in wait to ambush you like what's happening here.
Okay.
At that point, it is Faragos. Faragos' turn.
All right. I see this creature and I immediately pull that crystal out, and you start seeing ice form as a ray. Well, it just essentially shoots out, and it's going to hit the creature and cause frostbite.
Okay, roll it. Don't forget to post what you're using, by the way.
Oh, actually, you're going to make a con saving throw for the creature. And the DC is 15. I'm typing it right now. Hold on.
It fails. It gets 12.
All right. I'm going to roll 1d6 or 2d6. 6. It takes 7 points of damage and has disadvantage on its next attack roll before the end of its next turn.
Take 7. Okay. 31. Oh, wait. Okay. Are you doing anything else? Bonus action? Cantrip?
Nope. Oh, well, I can only cast one cantrip, correct? Or because that's still
Well,
that's an action.
yeah, but like, can't you cast a cantrip as a bonus action?
I don't think so, actually.
Derek, do you know?
Cantrips? Cantrips are a bonus action. They are not an actual action. But you cannot use another action to cast another spell if you use the cantrip. So do other stuff with your actions, but you can't cast 2 spells at one time.
So Frostbite is a what? What level spell is that?
It's a cantrip. It's just a 0 level spell.
Oh my gosh, noob. No, I'm kidding. That's fine. Okay, well then that's it for your turn. It is now Varro's turn.
Before we continue, can you make sure I understood? So I can do what? I can do
If you
two?
cast a spell, like a level 1, 2, or 3 spell, you can cast that and cast a cantrip as well. However, since you've already used your
Really?
did I hear that right, Derek? Did you did
No,
you...
no, no. So you can use your. So if you cast a cantrip spell, that is your spell for that time. You can use your action to, if you want to hit with a weapon or anything like that, you can use. You just cannot cast another spell in the same turn.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
So you still have your action for anything else action-wise you want to do besides casting another spell.
So I could go up and
Yes.
go ahead and continue, Shane. I'm gonna look this up. Because it's telling me my cantrips are actions. It doesn't say bonus actions. So I don't know if that's accurate or not. I'll leave it to you if you want me to.
Casting time action. It may be the cantrips you have are an action. I thought most cantrips were bonus. Okay, yeah, not all cantrips are cast as bonus actions. So yeah, if it says an action, those actually use your action.
Okay, so yeah, it did use your one action. You still have a bonus action. So I'm guessing if you have a cantrip that is a bonus action, you could probably use it as a bonus action.
Okay. Yeah, for this one, I've already gone ahead and did my action then.
Okay. Is that the end of your turn?
Mhm.
All right. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Varro, your turn, buddy.
Okay.
You see a frozen rug trying to reach out for you. What are you doing?
I'm swinging it twice.
So if you get a 1 on the battle hammer, the warhammer.
Okay, so 21 to hit with the battle axe.
Hits.
All right, 6 damage there. And a natural one with the warhammer. 4
Bro.
natural ones with whatever's not the battle axe
Oh my gosh.
in a row.
This is crazy.
And I got a natural one on the damage to the battle axe, right?
Well, yeah.
So it's
Roll a d20.
3.
Okay. You
I put a giant hole in the wall.
as you swing the hammer down on the rug, you miss by mere inches, and the creature looks at where you struck, and just kind of looks back at you. And if it could tilt whatever head that it had, it would, and just kind of just gargles at you. And what else are you doing?
That's it. That's all I'm doing. Varro's very frustrated.
Very frustrated man right now.
Missing this.
So I have a disadvantage on my attack.
You're first.
He lunges out for you. Let me see if I got this right. Make a dexterity check for me, please.
11.
11. You are now grappled
Okay.
by the creature. And honestly, I have to look that up because I forgot how grapple works. in 5th edition.
It just brings my movement speed to 0.
Oh, that's all it does? Okay, well, shit.
Double check just to make sure.
I'm going to use the
A grapple
restroom.
creature's speed becomes 0 and it can't benefit from any bonuses to its speed. Conditions ends if the grappler is incapacitated.
Alright, be right back.
Yeah, the way they explain it essentially is like I could cast any spell that has a bonus action, like Misty spells, and then I could only cast a cantrip.
Yes. That's what I was reading too. I forgot that not all cantrips are bonus actions and not. I should have remembered that.
If I used I think it's what's it called? Special weapon or something, magic weapon or something. Is like a floating sword. It could be anything. Yeah, I know it's in Critical Role, but you can I think cast that as a bonus action. I'm gonna go pee as well.
Peers.
Okay.
Peers.
So, it's attacked, grappled, and that's the end of its turn. Christopher, what are you doing?
He went pee.
Of course he did.
He's peeing. My turn again. Let's go.
You can put it in the chat and get ready to push enter if you know what you're going to do.
I may just start swinging solely with the battle axe. It's the only thing that hasn't been natural one.
Okay.
Your turn, bud. What are you doing?
Let's see.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Give me a second.
What
Hold on.
are you doing?
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast. Oh wait. So, did he attack? Right, the creature.
Yeah, it's your turn, bud.
You did remember the disadvantage.
Yeah,
Right?
I got it.
Yeah,
Just
okay,
focus
I'm
on your
just making
stuff.
Sure, I got it. It's gonna be Ray of Frost. I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost on him, and that is going to be. Okay. I wonder if it lets me actually type it in here. Let's give it a try.
Might want to put cast Ray of Frost.
Can you do cast? Golly.
Wow. So as you send forth your ray of frost, it just seeing how the creature is like flat as a rug, because it is a rug, it goes right above it and starts freezing a desk in the corner of the room missing. What else are you doing, bud?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can do.
All right, Varro, you're up next.
17 to hit for 8 slashing damage.
Hey, at least it's not a 1 on that one.
That's the battle axe. It's never
Sorry.
been a 1 on the battle axe. We're about to find out.
1.
A 2! A freaking 2 on the Warhammer for 10.
The 2 misses. It takes 8 points of slashing damage.
Oh. That's the end of my turn. I'm gonna just gladiator style trying to fight this thing. Wow. A 2, and that was max damage right there.
Since it has you grappled, it gets advantage on its attack. And
Does it?
Yeah. Because that's just part of the creature.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Since it has you, it's going to bite into you. 16...
Doesn't
21 hit.
21 hits.
Just wait till he gets his.
Sorry, I thought he was saying 16 to hit.
Okay. So you take 1 point of 2 points of piercing damage, which is already halved.
Okay.
And 2 points, so that's 34. And then you take 7 points of acid damage. Right? Is that full on? Do you get resistance
Yeah,
to
I
acid?
take all 7 of acid.
Okay. 27? 27. Yeah.
Golly.
27.
Well, you keeping track of my health, bro?
Yeah, I'm keeping track of your health. 27. Alright.
You get 27 hit points.
Got
Actually, hold on. Huh? No, it doesn't say anything about. It just says I have resistance to non-magical damage while you wear this armor. I mean, is acid magical? Or is the acid from the bite?
the creature's mouth, yeah.
Okay, yeah, then I would take it full. If somebody threw acid on me, I would only take half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, you're up next. What are you doing? Varro, you're up after. You're up.
Yep.
You're on deck.
Guess just it creates one more dart for each slot level above first. I'm gonna try this out. See if this kills him. Give me a second. I'm posting it. This is going to be a second level spell, so it creates one more dart for each slot level above first. So that is oh, I guess I could do third level spell. I'm doing a third level spell. So it's gonna do 2 more, so what? That's 5. 5 darts. Do they? It doesn't have a hit thing, does it?
You just roll a natural. It's like a regular attack. It's just a d20 plus your
Well, it doesn't say there's any hit.
3 going start hits creature. From what I understand, it still has to be its armor class, so you just roll a d20 plus your spell modifier.
Yeah, magic missile is an automatic hit unless the creature has something to protect you from it. So, in other words,
Just roll the damage.
you just roll the damage. So it looks like it's
5d1?
Yeah,
5d4s.
5d4. 5d4.
Plus
Plus
1.
5.
Plus 5. Yeah.
Oh, do I have to do 5 when it does multiples of it?
Well, there's 5. There's 5 total. And each one will automatically do 1 point. So it'll put it all into one roll.
Just rolled 5d5 plus 5.
And you're all set.
Oh, frick.
You might want to put roll in there somewhere.
Ignore that. Ignore that.
No, we can't ignore
Nope.
that. I might even put that on the
Deleted.
stream.
Deleted.
Dagnabbit. That's hilarious. You can't make fun of Derek for rolling them ones anymore, because at least he got his codes right. Holy crap.
We got rolled.
18.
Oh,
18 points of damage.
2 1s and 2 maxes.
How do you want to do
Essentially,
this?
There it is.
You
Okay.
just see me in the corner just like mumbling, and then you see this crystal just come up, and then out of it it's just like, got me, ah! Just like 5 bolts just start blasting out of the crystal. You just see the creature just get folded
So-
up into the corner.
As the creature is making its way to, it's wrapped Varro in its shell, and it's starting to kind of gnaw on him, having a hard time getting through the armor. All of a sudden it looks up, and it goes, and all the darts hit it and splattered against the wall, and it just dissolves into this viscous ooze as it slides down the wall. You begin to realize the most likely end to Lady Silverhall was because of the mimic beneath her feet. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session of learning 5e D&D. Thank you guys for hanging out. Damon, congratulations again on your new baby. Hope you're enjoying your growing family. And we will see you guys hopefully next week. Most likely on a Saturday. But until then, roll well and have a wonderful week. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.